Welcome to the copper area here in Satisfactory. Today, what I think I want to do is get this set up to making cable again. We've got this making copper sheets, and this is wire over here, which should be cranking quite a way. Previously, we had started building a logistics floor, but I'm not going to do that chase again. I'm just not going to. We were trying to cover this floor and just ran out of cement or concrete, for those who care about the difference. I really want this to be a logistics floor, and hopefully our guy here doesn't get too much in the way. Though I think we really just blocked him out. Last time we got the awesome shop open, and I ran out of concrete again. I think I have some. Which means now we have the floor pass-throughs. So we can do our elevators and make them look a little nicer, actually get things lined up better. All of the things that make this easier and better. I didn't just show you, but I'd set up basically a Connex outside that area just to put all that cable we'd previously made because I got tired of carrying it all. Well, that's 500 concrete. That ought to do something for us. And as long as that's just churning away, we'll all be happy. I have every reason to believe we'll be considerably ahead of it. Hope everybody's having a great day. Had a nice, relaxing weekend. Or at least one that made you feel good. So, we're going to come here. Get this. Just ignore him. Just ignore him. Ignore him and he'll go away. I'm going to do this with a type 2. Or with a... Yeah, I know what I meant. Oh, cool. It lined up. Now, I don't know how much of an actual logistics floor we need right here, because, well, that's not going to work. I really just have a straight pass through because they don't need anything else done to that wire. Before we process it into, I don't know that I need to transport it down here. Maybe. Let's see how this goes. You know, in a perfect world, I'd have a good way to line this up. In the world I'm in, I really don't. And I got that wrong. Didn't I? Oh, God. It's like not even kind of close. I'm going to anchor that and then come look at it from this side. And then come look at it from this side. And then I'm going to forget that I turned it off. And that's just dumb. These are the challenges of my life. I didn't get a chance to play with the ability to add... What am I thinking? Of course, I need cable. They had, right before I stopped playing before, they had added the ability to add splitters and mergers on... Yeah, like that. Onto elevators. I didn't get a chance to really play with them. As you can see, we've got a couple of cables sitting here. I should build a ramp there. Just to make it easier on me. So I'm not very good at thinking in terms of those. That is not really something I want to build right there. I'm going to give this some space. So that's 60 per minute. Amazing. Dude actually spawned inside my building. Oh Lord, what fun. Okay, so that's 60. So that's literally just one cable constructor's supply. Gonna go ahead and make this a tier 2 or a Mark 2. Just so that I can put a splitter on it, because I think I'm going to want that later. And that's a terrible place to put that. Good news is, entire game is designed around this sort of thing. So we're going to move it a little bit forward. Leave some walkway over on that side. I don't need Mark 2s, I need Mark 1s. I don't have nice walls yet, so we'll build cheap walls. I am well aware that this building is not even kind of big enough. And by the end of this, we're going to be building stuff that just dwarfs this. But I don't know that I'm at the build the 3,000 square meter super gigafactory yet. Also, I don't have that much concrete coming in anywhere, anyway, anyhow. And I need more sheet metal. And I want to check on the awesome sink and see how many tickets we have. Although, we're early enough that they do come pretty quick. Once you get much later in this, it is astounding how many points it takes to get a new ticket. And you start running massive amounts of products into it. I did log in just before starting recording. We got some of those floor holes that I really like, and I just installed a few over here. Literally all I did. And didn't even replace all of my elevators with them, or connect them to all of the elevators. Just some. Ooh, 5 coupons. That's going to be nice. I'll have to think about what I want to spend them on here in a little bit. I got a big chunk of everything I can and that I wanted. Ooh, stairs. Stairs are always nice. I do like some stairs. What I wanted to look at, yes, the factory ladder. That's a big deal. And then we can work towards that elevator. Which also tells me these are puny little tiny buildings compared to where we're going to be. Because that's just a little 3-story thing. That's nothing. Used almost a couple, I'll use 150 concrete. Just right in the belt. Pay no attention to me. We do have a Mercer sphere right up there. If I can get this sort of kind of working, which shouldn't take long, honestly. We can go look into building some ramps and stuff to get up there. But first, we need walls. Because I also bought power connectors. Or wall power connectors. Which means we can try to make this look nice. At least to the best of my abilities. As limited as they are. And I don't know that this needs this little cutout. It just sort of ended up there, as most of the things I build. It ended up there, so that's what we're building with. And of course, to fit everything in here, you got to go 3 high. But that seems to be a message in this game, is nothing fits together exactly. You're going to have to do some math. And obviously, I want to start getting those smart plates made. We've got a big leg up in that we're already making tons of screws over on the other side. Which means we're also making tons of steel. Did I already go through 200 iron plates? My goodness. I found my power slug. Yay! I thought I had lost it. More iron plates. I looked up, and hopefully nobody thinks this is cheating, but I did look up in Satisfactory tools a chain for making just the one assembler's worth of smart plates. And I think we're actually in a good position to pull that off. Which is an important step, just to know that, look, this can happen. We are not going so terribly off kilter here that it won't work. Okay, those are running full speed. And you can't just like take part of these. I want ladders. Oh, I do like me some industrial walkway. How much are those? Those are 5. Ouch. I can either do those or the ladder. Cannot do both. Do we invest yet in roofs? I don't know. The ladder is purely practical. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to have that. I'm trying to think. The rest of that seems cosmetic right now. Huh. Okay. But that would take all 5 of my tickets. I'm just going to favorite that because I don't want to forget about that. Go back in under walls. That's seriously decorative right now. Boombox is expensive for what it does. I'm going to get this stair set.
Thank you for purchasing a license for these Fix-It Awesome Shop products.
You're welcome. I don't even know how you'd pirate them, but here we are. So take a... Oh, yeah. Under architecture is the ladder. Cool. And many, many different kinds of stairs. It really does look just like your, you know, the presidential library that just got finished. I didn't say that. You didn't hear it. And now I figure out how to get power upstairs. Possibly with something just as cheap as... Oof. Ran into a wall. Cool. Now we've got power up there. Run, 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 run. Dude, seriously, how do you get trapped in a building like this? That just doesn't even kind of make sense. Did I put that too high? I just barely didn't. And we know at some point we're going higher than this. We only have a Mark 1 miner maxed out. We still got Mark 2 and Mark 3s to build. So that's going to be chomping away. And where do we go with storage? Do we go up a floor? Or do we kind of cheat? Or actually be lazy? It does seem like, you know, maybe not the best of plans here. I get it. I really do. No, that got put in backwards. There's a plan. I don't know that it's a good one, but there is a plan. I'm at least willing to call it a plan, because that may be all I get. And from here, it doesn't have anywhere to go yet, but we have a way to get it out of the building. And I have a sneaking feeling by the time this is over, this is going to be a major cable distribution hub. At least that is my current hope. And I don't have a problem front loading this thing since I know. I'm going to need a ton of those things later, so. And this one factory can't even come close to supplying all of it. But it'll make me feel better. Pick up my Connex. Now, do I aim that? You know what I'm going to do? Because I have them. No, I don't. I didn't buy them. Well, I ain't going to do crap with that. But I am going to give us a way to get copper plating out of the building. And if I had walkways, I would build one over that. Yes, I recognize I have stuff coming out of opposite sides of my building. I'm well aware of that. I'm also well aware that at some point in the future, I'm going to wish I hadn't done that. But we're not there yet. So we're going to build what's going to probably be a truck stop. Or at least a place to put a truck stop. With the best output I can manage right now. And I need to go make more reinforced plates. Anyway. I can make some from where we are. Not a lot of them, mind you, but enough to be useful. So anyway, I was saying I went to satisfactorytools.com and you can put in what you want to get as an output. If you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. It does say it's only 1.0. I don't know if much changed in 1.2. It doesn't really handle how to organize things. It's literally, as far as I've been using it, just a map of you need this many constructors, this many, this much raw iron coming in, this much raw copper coming in, this much crystal, whatever, or quartz. And how many constructors, how many assemblers. Once you get up to the bigger machines, it really gets complex. So it doesn't help with the actual laying out, which is good. I want to handle that fiasco all myself. But it does help conceptualize. It helps do the math on how many things you need in your production lines. Absolutely not affiliated with them, because why would they even know who I am? But I found it, and it's like, man, that saves me so much time. I was thinking I was going to have to build a spreadsheet or a database or something to do that myself, and it was just like, no, I don't want to do that. That does not sound in any way, shape, or form fun. I would rather gnaw off my own foot. And I really don't want to gnaw off my own foot. I don't know what that's going to be useful for yet, but we're going to want that. All right, let's see if we can go get a second Mercer sphere. Then I can check the MAM to see what we need to do. Not that dimensional storage is really a priority right this moment, but it would be nice. Out of concrete. That's why it won't let me make them. Remember, this iron's here. That's going to be useful. I'll bet I forget it before long. Man, that's a lot of concrete we've gone through. Good news is it's consistently getting made at this point. I do still need to look for a second limestone or a third limestone deposit. Of course, the downside is we can't really get moving on much until I get something making smart plates. Because of course not. I wonder what the odds are that I can actually... zero, apparently. I was going to say platform my way up there, but that's just not a thing. I mean, I'm sure it can be done, not by me. because that would be just way too cheaty. Shoot! And if you could see me jump in my chair each time I'm trying to do this, it would be so terrible. Man, that was just embarrassing. Dear Lord. You would think I had not grown up with Mario or Super Mario Brothers. Jeez, Wiz. Nope. Okay, I'm going to have to actually start building stuff. How much ridiculous room is that going to take? Ah! Good grief. Well, it's a good thing I never said I was like a pro gamer. Like a god gamer. I'm not even going to try and jump that from this height. Because I can't even begin to imagine how that would help me. Oh my God, just about ran off that edge.
The effigy has no song, only echoes, but it is part of a river. Why does the effigy avoid the windows?
Attention. Your brain's operations are outside typical parameters. Time spent daydreaming will be deducted from your sustenance budget.
So she just assumes I'm screwing off. That's not fair. I should probably one of these days sit down and try and actually decipher all the meaning behind what those voices say. But I'm not a smart man, so it would probably have to be something I don't do in front of others, because that would get embarrassing. You want to check out the ma'am and see what else we can do here. Is it alien technology? Okay, but we need Sam to do that. We haven't officially found any yet. I'm going to sneak that in there. Alrighty. For the record, I really, for a second there, thought that was going to take much, much longer to get up there. want to come over here and make sure we got, I know we do. We've got cables coming out there, so I know they're getting built up back there. All right. Now, I want to think about an idea. I don't know if it's, I know it's not aesthetically like super wow, but because I think I'm going to end up having to kind of skip a production floor here. And I'm thinking in order to do that, I want to build kind of a place where I can do some elevators that just skip floors. Only I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't think this is actually a big enough production floor. I think I want to expand horizontally before I do that. Can't go too far because we start running into that gas. And I'm going to need huge amounts of biofuel. Because I got a long way until we get to coal for power. Let me go in here and look at this for a minute. Good news is we're making concrete the whole time, and I know we just don't have enough of that, so. And that's going to be, that's 3 high. Which is still not big enough to hold the awesome sink in it. And of course, if an archaeologist were to see what we built, they could see our ability to progress just by how things were combined. See how much concrete we've got. Not a full 500, but not bad. I still keep thinking about that. There's a limestone on the other side of that area. I may have mentioned I discovered that you need to save, because I forgot, on when you're exiting the game. Otherwise, it just reverts back to the last autosave. Because we had picked up that power slug up there, and I didn't save beforehand. So it's still up there again because it was long enough, or it was not long enough since the last autosave when I exited on a previous play. Ow. Need metal plate, iron plates too. May need to turn off the awesome sink for a little bit, but we've got quite a bit of iron plate sitting there, so it doesn't have to be right this moment. Yeah, I know. It looks bad. And I don't know that we need the awesome sink right now enough to justify keeping it here. And of course, I didn't leave myself an actual safe way down, so there's that. Why didn't that line up right? I'll bet it did. I'm just dumb. Yes, it did. Okay. Yeah, apparently Awesome Sink takes up stupid amounts of height. Huh. Well, okay then. I don't know if this is a good spot to say we go literally just searching for... Maybe I should build on that other limestone. I'm just not a fan. I know they happen, but I try not to do these huge conveyor belts. Obviously, I will do them because I have done them. While I'm back here, I might as well get some wood for fuel. There he is. I thought there was a warthog up here, or whatever these guys are called. Hogs, whatever. I knew what I meant. Even if nobody else cared, I knew. don't even think that was the one I thought I was coming to get, now that I think about it. Oh, there's a little bastard. And that's the one I thought I was coming to get. Just a little bit of leaves. Oh, let's see. Probably won't hurt to collect some of this wood. Although, goodness, that's quite a bit. Oh, another Mercer sphere. That's the one I was thinking of. Do I bother trying to find out what it takes to get to that Mercer sphere? Because if I build this right now, I can either... Oh, I don't even know what grade it is. Let's figure that out. I'll bet it's an impure just like the others, so it's only going to do 30. Oh, it's a normal. Okay. And oddly enough, that throws the balance out further. Do I have... I do not, of course. I'm going to ask if I had the stuff to build up here, but I don't. And that's copper. Got my Xeno Zapper here. Because, of course, I can't make the Xeno Basher yet. And I need concrete to actually build what I wanted to do. I was thinking a conveyor down here, then down this area here. Get it back over there, but that's so big. It takes so many resources to make that happen. Can't use them yet, but eventually I will. How much wood do I have? Not like forever wood, but... And I don't remember if trees and such grow back. I don't think they do. Which is really too bad. Yep, not going in that cave. Because that's where people go to die. Go get this stuff in. These constructors start getting it turned into biofuel. Ooh, lots of leaves. And in fact, I think I have some more. Yep, I have some more in there. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is eventually going to be a truck or train loading area. So I don't want to get feeding or, yeah, get too much going on there. Ooh, alien DNA
The
capsule.
remains researched belong to an organism now dubbed the fluffy-tailed hog. It has many characteristics that would likely classify it among the Suidae family were it native to Earth. Hog remains can now be made into alien protein, and additional research may reveal options for improving pioneer safety during exploration.
Well, goodness. So that costs... okay, okay. Well, I see that coming up soon. And power slugs, so we'll chuck one in here.
This semi-slug, now dubbed power slug, is early in its life cycle and has retained only part of its potential energy storage capacity, giving it its blue color. Power slugs are capable of extracting latent energy from their surroundings, including through a form of photosynthesis, and preserve it in their porous semi-crystalline shell over their lifetime. This explains why they rarely move after having found a suitable location.
Oh. Is it terrible that I'm just gonna build a constructor sitting right here? I'm literally gonna steal power from right here. I'm gonna make two power shards because I want to get overclocking. Yay! We can turn that in right away. Nope, that won't help. It's not going to get us the 5 to get the next research. But it kind of makes me... God, I am so dumb. I could have done that. I'll bet. Right here. Good Lord. This is why we don't let me design things. I literally didn't need that. But I am going to get overclocking.
Overclocking development completed. Power shards can now be inserted into all buildings to increase input and output speed. Underclocking is also possible. Note: power consumption of overclocked buildings increases exponentially.
You know, exponentially is actually a unimaginable amount of change in something just to... Because it, yeah. Ooh. I know it gets used a lot, but my goodness, if it's actually exponential, that is ridiculous.
The fruit of this fungus-like flora does not seem to show much potential for use. However, its mycelial network is worth further investigation. Research it in the MAM to
I
establish
don't want to go far in here
classification
because,
and
like I
potential
said, this is where
application.
shit goes to die. Yeah, I hear the meowing. And I have this on arachnophobia mode. Yep. I'm going to choose life. My cilia. Silly my cilia.
The mycelial networks of these fungi possess unusually resilient hyphae, which show potential for making a strong but lightweight natural fabric. Additionally, it has similar medicinal and pest control applications to mycelia on Earth.
I want to do that because that's how I'm going to get a parachute. Yeah. I know. I said never do that. Well, here we are. You have got to be kidding me. That is so not funny that I needed 100 of those things. Let's sort that back together. Okay, brain not braining. And we have overclocking now, which means we also have underclocking, which is so cool. Although as I've said, I tend to be a person who I will set something so that it kind of doesn't match exactly, specifically so that the overrun can be kind of stored up somewhere. So we kind of end up with buffers of things in different areas.
Research completed. Fabric recipe unlocked. New mycelia research available.
Nobelisks. Oh, how much of that fabric do I need? 10. Can I make 10? Where do I make 10? I'm running around too much. Need biomass. I need biomass. Why don't I have biomass? Who let me put all the biomass away? Why did you let me put all the biomass away? I didn't do that. I'm actually just going to let that run for a minute. God, I am so dumb. I could have just picked that stuff up and walked over to the workbench and made biomass with it, but no, I'm not that smart. Like I said, it's a good thing we don't let me be in charge of stuff. That world could be very dangerous. Cool. I got enough to make more than what I need. Because sometimes my brain doesn't turn on. Certainly not in any kind of useful way. My goodness. Because we just come over here. Nope. And we turn this on. And I think I'm going to need, well, I know I'm going to need more fabric than just enough to get the recipe unlocked to actually make my parachute.
Parachute unlocked. Fix-It appreciates your willingness to descend rapidly to perform your duties, but damaging Fix-It property is a breach of contract and will have unpleasant consequences. Improve descent efficiency by combining the forces of gravity and drag with a parachute.
I'm really hoping I only ever need one of those. Yay! No longer are heights instant death. I think that's a wonderful thing. Oh, I need to go check that out. This is where my inner 5-year-old just starts squealing for joy. Woohoo! Yeah! Look, no hands! I forgot how to make it let go, though. I suppose that could have been important. And I forgot we have a map now. Though we have been in all of about 6 places. Yay, I'm going to call this a successful day. As always, thank you for stopping by. I hope it was an enjoyable way to spend your time. I'm going to chuck that in there because why not? I hope the rest of your week is fantastic. And I will see you next time, where I think we're going to try and figure out how to start getting reinforced plate made. And I want to start, I really want to start getting some smart plates made. So we will look at that next time. Have a great day. Have a great time. Thank you for stopping by.